What's up, everybody? Hola.
Dwayne, with roster cuts coming up, obviously some of the final spots are typically special teams guys. How much of a voice do you have in what guys you place on this team?
I don't know how much of a voice I have, but I am going to express my opinion. Obviously, if we want to get to being one of the elite units in the NFL, we need to keep quality guys around that can play at a high level. So I'm going to tell George my opinion. I'm going to tell Coach Hackett my opinion. Hopefully, it has some influence on some of those back-end roster guys, but I can't promise you that.
With a guy like Tyree Cleveland, is that you want to be a core special teams player who's missed so much time? How do you sort of balance that in thinking about what he could mean to you versus obviously having been out for a while?
I think working with Tyree in the preseason, obviously, a couple days in training camp, we know what we have in Tyree as far as, and I'll keep saying this, he's athletic, he brings the physicality that we're looking for, he brings the speed we're looking for. My opinion on him has not changed since day one. Again, I'll say this, he's also being evaluated as a receiver. That's going to play a part in it, but we want him to be a core special teams player. I'm going to keep saying that as well.
Have you lost a punter ever pregame?
I think that was the first time in Buffalo that I've lost a punt in a pregame. And I'm glad it wasn't anything to dealing with me, So hopefully he's healthy and ready to go this weekend. That's what we hope. And, yeah, I've never experienced that.
So the competition is on still?
I would say so. I mean, it's still an ongoing evaluation, right? We took it from the off season, we took it to the training camp, and now we're trying to still evaluate these guys during the preseason games. But we chart them in practice as well, to chart their kicks, chart their distance, chart their hang. So it's, like I said, it's not just the preseason games, it's an accumulation of things.
If Sam is healthy Saturday, is the plan to split it again between him and Corliss?
That's the best way to do it. Some people like to do halves, but how do you know how many punts you're going to get in the second half, right? You get all these punts in the first half, and then the offense starts driving the ball, they start scoring points, and now the other punter doesn't get a true evaluation. So, yes, the preference is to have those guys alternate every single punt. One.
Limited sample size again for Corliss Saturday, but how did you think he did, especially at that one that nearly was down inside?
Yeah, I thought he handled it well, right? Finding out prior to the game that the other punter's not going and now you have to handle all the punting duties, it takes mental strength and fortitude to be able to go out there and execute, because a lot of times he's relying, okay, well, I'll get this first one, then I'll get the third one. No, you're locked in for the whole game. So I thought Corliss handled himself well. Obviously, that one punt that he punted, it was 5-3 hang, 50-some yards, whatever the case may be. We would like to down that. But it's also guys are starting to try to figure out where they fit in our scheme, so.
Coach, I know it's a little thing, but when you only have one punter and he happens to wear 17 and Virgil wears 17, does that screw anything up with Virgil being able to be a gunner when Sam can't go? And
We're alternating those gunners, and right now in preseason, I don't think it's an issue. If it is, hopefully the refs will tell us prior to putting both of those guys out there, because I don't want to get any penalties to hurt our team as far as field position goes. And then if you look at the two guys, they look completely different. So
I just meant on Saturday, was it an issue like Virgil couldn't get any reps at that point?
I mean, well, we only had 2 punts, and Virgil was doing other things well, right? He was returning kicks. He was also playing offense, so he was getting his shine in other ways.
To follow up on that, what was your evaluation of Jalen Virgil in the return game on Saturday?
I thought he did a good job, actually. The guys, once again, I thought the guys did a good job blocking for him, but he actually set that return up. If you actually watch it, he was patient to let the guys get their blocks, sustain their blocks. Then he tried to burst through the gap, which is awesome. Now, if we could have finished those blocks backside, it would have been a longer return.
When you have a return that's as fast as he is that something that they got to continue to learn, that it's not just all speed all the time?
Correct. I mean, we've all seen how fast that hole closes, right? If you go running full speed through that hole, it's going to be a big collision. You have to be smart as a returner. You have to feel where guys are in relationship to the blocks, run off the backside of the blocks, and then execute it. So him hesitating a little bit to set the return up is awesome. That's what we would prefer for him to do.
Have you seen what you want to see yet on kickoff coverage?
No, to be completely honest with you, no. Anytime you give up a 29-yard return, how can you be happy about that? Yeah, I get the other things. We stopped him inside the 20 a couple of times and things of that sort. But I'll say this again. The standard that we're trying to build around here is different. And if you want to be one of those top special teams units, you can't give up 29-yard returns. I would prefer to kick the ball into the end zone and get a touchback and give them the ball on the 25 instead of the 29, 30, et cetera. So I'm not happy about our kickoff coverage. The guys understand that. Am I pleased about the effort? 100%. And then also, it's a learning process too, right? The scheme that they had for the last 3-4 years, however, it's different than the scheme that we're running now. So it's going to take guys time to learn the scheme as well as work off the other guys beside them. I get that. I'm not frustrated by that, but we have to start getting to a place where we're making plays consistently inside the 20-yard line, or we'll hit touchbacks.
When you're sorry, Coach. When you're evaluating a punter competition, what are the most important attributes that you're looking for?
Consistency, to be completely honest with you, and obviously distance, right? We don't want to see 30-yard punts. We don't want to see 40-yard punts in the middle of the field with 4-0 hang, because those are the balls that come right back at you, right? We prefer to get the ball, and again, to the numbers or outside the numbers with good distance, good hang, good location. That's what we preach around here.
If Virgil ends up making the roster, what kind of luxury would that be to have perhaps Virgil, Montrell, and Boone available in the return game for you?
I mean, it puts you in a situation where, you know, if something happens to one of those guys, you still feel comfortable about your plan going into the game. Obviously, we want Montrell to stay healthy. We believe in Montrell. Again, he's shown what he could do this preseason. He'll be electric once we start sustaining the blocks for a second longer. So, yes, having Jalen, having Mike Boone, knowing that they can return, that gives you some comfort knowing that if something happens to your main returner, absolutely, those guys can go in there and execute the game plan at a high level, but we prefer for him to stay healthy.
Coach Stukes, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.